Hey guys, welcome back to another video by the one and only jmadden184. Doing an update on the 60-gallon tank. It's week 12 and it is day number 84. And the 60-gallon tank is just doing absolutely outstanding. Corals are looking good and healthy. The fish are looking fat and healthy as well. The clownfish are getting along. The small maroon clown you see in the bottom right there, and the rose bubble tip anemone is doing great. Not showing any kind of aggression with the perks, so that's really great. I wanted to go ahead and get a rundown here on the corals, let you see the new growth, talk about some of the stuff that's going on with them. Let's get to it. So, I wanted to first start out with talking about a couple of the corals here, specifically the Duncan Coral that you see right there on the right side, and up there behind the Acropora on the left side of the screen. I got kind of scared for a little while. For a couple days, both of these corals just closed up almost completely. I can be honest with you, they were looking pretty bad, and I went ahead and did a bunch of water testing, making sure my magnesium was good and checking my iodine and all that kind of stuff, and I couldn't really find any discrepancies, so I was kind of at a loss. Well, today, as the lights were coming on, this morning the moonlights are on, and I was able to get a good look at the corals, and they were looking much better, so big sigh of relief. They're pretty much fully extended now. It's later in the day, so really happy about that. We'll go ahead and check out the Cholesteric Coral here. This coral is probably the one coral in this tank that has improved the most. I would definitely say that it looked the worst back 84 days ago, whenever this tank was getting redone and everything, and it's just really made a 180-degree round turn, and I'm really happy about it. The acro up here is doing fantastic. The growth on this thing is just insane, considering I got this little piece of a frag for free from a fellow reefer, and I mean, now it's just it's blowing up. It's looking great. And there's the Blastomussa Wellesley there in the back, and it's looking really good. The green Montipora here, showing really good polyp extension. Not sure how well you can see it in the video, but the polyp extension is really great on this coral. As you know before, the mushrooms here split. The spongiodes here down at this area right here is looking really good. Polyps are always extended, nice and red, the way they should be. Here's the other Monty cap. As you can see, the growth on it is really starting to accelerate since I moved it down here. As you know before, it was up higher in the tank, and I believe it was too much lighting for it. But now you can see lots of new growth on the cap. All that white rim and everything is all new. So I'm really happy to see that this coral is improving, and a lot of the color is coming back on it. You have the lighter portions of it, but there's also the darker areas, but the darker areas are starting to get brighter, and all the polyps, I'm not sure if you can see them in the video, but there's red polyps all over it, so that's a really good sign. Here's the other Montipora of some type, forget the name of it, but it's doing really good too. The polyps on it are purple. You couldn't really see them very well before, but now they're just looking outstanding, and this is also showing some growth as well since being moved down lower in the tank. Bubble coral's looking really good. The clowns have been hosting in it at night, and they haven't done any damage to it yet. They don't really kind of go inside of it or anything like that, so I'm happy about that, but we'll see what happens. They put a pretty big hurting on my frog spawns in the past, so I'll be watching them closely. Yellow tank, get out of there. Showing off. What's up, buddy? The clams are doing good. The Maxima, the small one in the back, and the Crochet clam here in the front's doing really good. Lots of new growth on these clams. I mean, wow. Seems like just the other day the Maxima, the smaller one in the back, was just a fraction of the size of this larger Crochet one, and now they're almost the same size. The Acan echinata is just doing really, really good. It's growing like a champ. See if we can get the color here to focus. Yeah, here in the front, this other Blastomosa welsani here is doing really, really good. I haven't had the best of luck keeping blastos in the past, but the two little colonies that I have now seem to be doing really good. And this one accepts food all the time, so I think that has a lot to do with it. Oh yeah, and the acans. Wow, the acans are doing awesome, especially this little one here in the front. If you can see him past the yellow tang once again, this one is just doing so good. This is a totally different coral from when I got it. A lot of the color has stayed, but a lot of newer colors have started coming out on it. You notice all the white stripes and stuff, those are fairly new. The orange ones in the back, all the baby polyps on it are really starting to grow and get bushy underneath there. Overall, the acans are doing quite well. Lots of new growth. On this one here, smaller polyp on the bottom, there's a couple new ones that are growing, starting to fill in and mature. And this one here is looking great as well. Candy canes, looking good too. Lobo also looking good. The maze brain to the right of it, growing like a champ as well. Scalemi australis in the back, they're doing great. Still fat and healthy, accept a lot of food, so keeping these ones well fed is key to keeping them big and plump. The piece of chalice here is doing good too. You can't really tell in the video here because it always washes out blue when I point the camera down here. Yeah, there's no getting it in focus, but a lot of the pink is actually starting to spread, so instead of being just green, like there's actually pink starting to form throughout the coral towards the center, so that's pretty neat. See if we can get this color going a little bit better. Yeah, down at the bottom, the Tyree blue chalice is showing a lot of growth. You can see that it's, even though it's down here on the sand bed, you can just see it spreading out over the top of it, so that's really cool. The Trachophilia radiata in the middle is doing absolutely awesome. The orange torch is also looking really good, you know, since the last video. After I was talking about how the clownfish had knocked it over, it's made a full recovery and it looks better than it did before. I mean, look at the polyp extension on that thing, it's ridiculous. The Tyree toadstool is just massive, looking awesome. The Palithoa grandis in the middle there looking good too. Lots of new polyps. The Duncans up there at the top looking good as well. Like I was saying earlier, these Duncans are doing great. Thought they were doing bad for a little while, but they're good now. The pulsing zinnia is doing really, really good. Lots of new stocks happening there. And in the back here, this behemoth of a coral, this hammer coral, is just exploded in size. It's really, really happy. The mushrooms down here, these Redactus ones in particular, are doing really, really good. They're actually growing and climbing up the rock. And if you can look just up above them there, see that pink and purple thing? That's the little piece of, I don't even know what it is, that I've been kind of documenting through these videos, but it's growing into some kind of branching something. I don't know if it's like an algae or what, but nothing's eating it. The Favia is doing really, really good. You guys can see over here on the right, the frog spawns that the clownfish were hosting in have taken a huge round turn. They're looking absolutely awesome. the best they've ever looked, and I couldn't be happier about those corals. The gold tip torch in the back, still looking really, really good, nice and full. I had to move it the other day because it kind of slid back to the back glass, but I moved it forward slightly and it's doing really good. The other half of the frog spawn here is doing really good as well. Polyp extension isn't as good as the one up top there, but I'm confident it'll get there. The Recordia Floridas are looking good. The Yuma in the back is looking good. The Symphilia wilsoni, still no changes with it. Still nice and fat though, so can't complain too much. And these ones here, these candy canes are doing excellent. I mean, they're huge. If you look in past videos, they're just getting bigger and bigger as time progresses. This Lobo is also looking fantastic. And since we're over here, we got the whole crew. I've been feeding the fish on this side of the tank, so every time I'm over here, they're always trying to hang out and think they're going to get some kind of food. You see there the baby maroon clown is looking really great. Looks like he kind of bumped himself on something. He's got a little scratch mark on his left side near his tail fin there. But speaking of which, the rose bubble tip anemones are just massive. Look at these things, guys and gals. Look at this thing. Huge. One of the things that I found really neat, I was looking over here just the other day, really checking stuff out, is like inside here you can see where they're anchored and how they're reaching up towards the light, all three of them. But there's a lot of really cool stuff going on that's kind of in this benthic, darker area. I mean, look, you can see all the little copepods and everything else swimming around. If I can focus it. Come on, there we go. Yeah. Worms and all kinds of stuff living in here in this section. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Thought I'd share it with you all. Also too, I want to touch on, let you guys kind of see how the deep sand bed is doing. I haven't disturbed the deep sand bed voluntarily since I installed it. A lot of what you're seeing here in this area, like the reddish kind of darker colors, it's actually like a cyanobacteria growing in there. They like lower oxygenated areas, so they're going to kind of grow inside there, and they get a lot of light because the light bounces off the glass and travels down. As you can see, the top layer is pretty light colored, but you can also see here, if I can get it to focus the way I want it to, like in this section here, see how clean the sand is, and then it kind of just hits that dark spot. That's as far down as these snails that I have clean. You see one right here doing his job underneath the sand there, and there's another one right here. These snails are really cool. They reach down and clean and move the sand around real nice. Alright guys, so that's basically it as far as the update goes on the 60-gallon reef and all the corals and the inhabitants. As you can see, everything is doing amazing, and I contribute a lot of that to having really good nutrient export and stability within the system. You know, between having this deep sand bed in here and having the refugium lit 24/7 with chaetomorpha macroalgae. I mean, the tank's really doing a good job of taking care of itself. That pretty much is going to wrap it up. To everybody that's stopping by and checking out my videos, thank you so much. If you like my videos, give it a like, and if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe up. Lots and lots of videos still to come documenting the progress of this 60-gallon reef. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care and happy reefing.